You are watching the RNL Revolution Nothing Less show. This is our 116th episode on August 25th, 2022. My name's Andy Z. I'm the host of the show, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. I want to especially welcome all of our first-time viewers. You're watching a show like no other. Over the past year, I've opened our program several times with the preamble of a declaration, a call to get organized now for an actual revolution from the RevComs. And I'm going to begin today with these words as an invitation, especially to all of you watching for the first time, but also at the same time to bring all of our returning viewers back to who this show is for and what it is for, a future fit for humanity all over the world. To everyone who can't stand this world the way it is, who is sick and tired of so many people being treated as less than human, who knows that the claim of liberty and justice for all is a cruel lie, and who is righteously enraged that injustice and inequality go on and on and on, despite the false promises and honeyed words from people in power or those seeking power. Everyone who agonizes about where things are headed and the fact that to be young now means being denied a decent future or any future at all. Everyone who has ever dreamed about something better or even wondered whether that is possible. Everyone who hungers for a world without oppression, exploitation, poverty, destruction of the environment. Everyone who has the heart to fight for something that is really worth fighting for. You need to be a part of this revolution. That's a big deal. We know that even the word revolution can seem daunting and scary. As you watch today, you will begin to go through a process of coming to understand why the world is the mess it is, why we need a revolution, what revolution is all about, and most importantly, what the new society could be and how we could get to that goal of emancipating all of humanity. And I'll tell you what's scarier than revolution. It's putting your head in the sand. It's people peddling illusions that we're going to be all right voting for bourgeois politicians, or just seeking some space for ourselves, all that leaves the world as it is, careening towards environmental devastation, the danger of world war with the threat of nuclear war, the unending succession of outrage piled upon top of outrage, police murdering black and brown youth, women stripped of the right to abortion and their futures, the world a furnace with fires and floods driving tens of millions to become refugees. Billions of people are suffering terribly and unnecessarily because there is another way we could be living. Another world really is possible, but that world requires getting rid of the system that gives rise to and perpetuates all of this, the capitalist imperialist system. For humanity to get on the road to emancipation requires a real revolution to overthrow this system and replace it with a radically new form of society, with a radically new socialist economic system. Look, these are big ideas, and it's a big challenge. And it is at the same time what must be done if there is to be a future fit for humanity. So I want to begin today's show especially saying to our new viewers, take the whole show in. Think about what you see and you hear, then watch again, and go back and watch previous episodes. The RNL show brings to you a different way to think about and understand why the world is the way it is, and how we could fight for a different future out of this madness. The RNL show is out of the box of accepting what is. It is a show about revolution. We're not talking about shuffling rulers at the top of this society. We're not talking about trying to slightly loosen chains that keep billions of people locked within the horrors of today. We're not trying to apply makeup or a brocade to that which is rotten. And we're not about changing names, telling you or ourselves a different story or narrative to cover over the reality we face and what must really be done. No. This is the most radical show on the internet, and that means we go to the root of every problem humanity faces and show why and how we, through a revolution ultimately involving millions of people, can tear up these roots, and then we can go to work to overcome millennia of oppressive and exploitive societies. To do this, to know and change the world for this future, means revolution, and that requires a conscious, scientific leadership and a revolutionary people. This is what we bring in every episode of the RNL show. A scientific method and approach to the world and to revolution is the centerpiece of our show today, and it is a thread that ties together the different segments of this, our 116th episode. And we're going to begin today's show with a film excerpt of Bob Avakian, the revolutionary leader whose work is at the heart of the RNL show and whose leadership we follow, speaking about science and the scientific method and approach to knowing and changing the world. There is a lot about Bob Avakian's character and leadership that you're going to experience in this film clip, but first, a few words about him. As it says on our website, Bob Avakian BA is a radically different leader who has developed a new framework for human emancipation. BA is not trying to get in on this system or find the ways to keep it going, destroying lives and crushing spirits. BA is a revolutionary who bases himself on the scientific understanding that this system must finally be overthrown through an organized struggle involving millions of people and replaced with a system that is oriented to and capable of meeting the most fundamental needs of humanity and enabling humanity to become fit caretakers of the earth. To this end, he has qualitatively developed the scientific approach to communism, and this is a big deal. He's developed both a roadmap to make revolution, and he's written a path-breaking constitution for a new socialist republic in North America. And all of this and more we call the new communism. I think you'll see in this film we're going to show next that Bob Avakian embodies a rare combination. He has been able to develop scientific theory on a world-class level while at the same time having a deep understanding and a visceral connection with the most oppressed and a highly developed ability to break down complex theory. Now, after the film, we're going to have two segments that each demarcate the difference between reform and revolution. The first around the illusion of reforming the police presented by the RNL Revolution Nothing Less contributor Rafael Caderas, followed by the continuation of an interview I did last week with the writer Paul Street, where Paul sharply rebukes and refutes the reformists and opportunists who have viciously attacked Bob Avakian, the Revcoms, and the organization Rise Up for Abortion Rights that has been at the forefront of fighting to stop the overturning of the right to abortion. Such attacks are not unexpected because there are defenders as well as functionaries and enforcers of the present oppressive order in the world who hate and vilify Bob Avakian because of the revolutionary leadership that he represents. And at the same time, as we have brought out in the previous 3 episodes of the RNL show, there are others of many different viewpoints who have deep respect for BA and for what he stands for. A radical break with a world full of oppression and unnecessary suffering, and for his lifelong dedication to advancing revolution and emancipating humanity. And then to close today's show, we are presenting a stirring song in honor of the Mexican students who were murdered and disappeared in 2014, along with an interview by the songwriter and artist Miles Soleil of the band Outer National. And so with this as introduction and heartfelt invitation to get into BA and to get with the movement for revolution, let's get started with the film. So this excerpt is from Revolution and Religion, The Fight for Emancipation and the Role of Religion, a dialogue between Cornel West and Bob Avakian, and it took place in 2014 at Riverside Church in New York City.